Summer predicted that AI will eventually be able to do nearly every human job, particularly white-collar workers, cognitive labor. So I think he's aligned with us, our even keel approach. Like there's yes, this is the holy
Wait,
grail.
are you
Go
telling me
ahead.
we're not going to have AGI in what, 6 or 5 months?
Hold on to your Star Trek shirts. It still could happen if we just keep on watering it down to the point that AGI is just a Wikipedia page. Then yes, we still have hope.
I I think you could summarize Summers, at least in this piece,
Mhm.
by saying he thinks deployment and refinement are going to take longer than people think. So he's sort of setting out a 5-year roughly time frame.
Yeah,
But he thinks that the overall impact is going to be much bigger than people think.
exactly. And I think I agree with that. He also didn't talk about just our psychology. All this technology could be ready to use, like kind of like what we saw at Google, pretty much ready to use, but they were too puss to actually put it in people's hands. So we could run into that scenario too. And
Dude,
just
Summers' whole career is reels over feels.
explain that one.
Like he's constantly saying something, going through the steps of reasoning and then making some statement that triggers a whole bunch of people. And then you see some huge reaction to whatever he said. And he's repeated that pattern throughout his career. But I think the funniest part of it is his record is really good. I mean, he usually turns out to be right.
Yeah, it's always great because like short term he's like pitchforks, like whatever, and then long
Yep.
term it's like
Yep.
yeah he was generally correct about that, but no one goes back and says I'm sorry for trying to pitchfork you.
No,
No one ever does
no, they
that.
never back up and say, oh, maybe I overreacted. Summers was on target here.
Yeah, and that's why we create our bet sheet. I've created my bet sheet in a couple things, and like if I'm
That's
wrong,
right.
then I'm going to come here and be like, "Yep, mea culpa, I screwed up." Let's go to our friend Andre Karpathy about machine efficiency.
Like a massive gap in just the energetic efficiency of running all this stuff. So my brain is roughly. I was just talking to GTC, the massive supercomputers that they're going to be building now. The numbers are in megawatts, right? And so maybe you don't need all that to run like a brain. I don't know how much you need exactly, but I think it's safe to say we're probably off by a factor of 1,000 to like 1,000,000, somewhere there in terms of like the efficiency of
At least.
running these.
Yep.
And I think part of it is just we've designed, of course, are just like not a good fit for this workload.